I am my brother's keeper. And when you say the name Jacob Blake, make sure you say father, make sure you say cousin, make sure you say son, make sure you say uncle, but most importantly, make sure you say human. Human life. Let it marinate in your mouth, in your minds. A human life. Just like every single one of y'all and everywhere around the world. We're human. And his life matters. So many people have reached out to me telling me they're sorry that this happened to my family. Well, don't be sorry, because this has been happening to my family for a long time. Longer than I can account for. It happened to Emmett Till. Emmett Till is my family. Philando, Mike Brown, Sandra. This has been happening to my family. And I've shared tears for every single one of these people that it's happened to. This is nothing new. I'm not sad. I'm not sorry. I'm angry. And I'm tired. I haven't cried one time. I stopped crying years ago. I am numb. I have been watching police murder people that look like me for years. I'm also a Black History minor. So not only have I been watching it in the 30 years that I've been on this planet, but I've been watching it for years before we were even alive. I'm not sad. I don't want your pity. I want change.
Welcome into issue 22 of Comicast Video. Jong Lee here.
Hey, with Michael Carroll.
We're going to be doing something a little different today. We're not going to be talking about any pop culture or anything like that. We want to address what's been going on over, I guess, the last couple of days with Jacob Blake, who has been shot by police officers 7 times in the back. And luckily, he's still alive and partially paralyzed. We want to kind of tell you guys how you can actually make some changes, because we're kind of tired of seeing our brothers and sisters getting shot, and some of you are frustrated and you don't want to go protest because of coronavirus, or you want to find a more tangible way to contribute. Well, you can go to this website that is right below between me and Michael, and you can help, and you can actually, do some difference. You can contact your state representatives. We're both in Houston and we're both in Texas, so you can go to house.texas.gov/members/find your representative, and you can actually find out who represents you, and you can contact them. Please contact them and let them know that something has to change. Something needs to change, and that you will be making your voices heard come this November. And come this November, we're going to be having this election that's going to be quite possibly one of the biggest elections ever. And Toyota Center is actually going to be opening their doors, and it's going to be a voting location for the upcoming general election. And the Harris County Clerk's Office announced on Thursday that you can come vote and do early voting from October 13th to the 30th, and also on Election Day on November 3rd. The voting hours are going to be from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And this is huge because a lot of people can't get access to voting locations that are properly staffed. And this is one of the things that they've passed laws to where they've kind of made it hard for minority heavy areas to get proper voting, I guess, locations where it runs smooth and efficiently. And this is a quote from Toyota Center General Manager Doug Hall in a press release. He said, "On behalf of the Houston Rockets and Toyota Center, we are honored to help serve our community by providing a safe and convenient location for Harris County voters for the upcoming presidential election. Voting is an extremely important right, which many have fought hard for throughout the years, and we want to thank the Harris County Clerk Office for allowing the Rockets and Toyota Center to offer support." And the Rockets have partnered with Houston First to provide free parking at Toyota Center throughout the voting process. Toyota Center will allow all CDC and public health guidelines regarding social distancing. And this is a quote from Harris County Clerk Chris Hollins in a press release. He says, our elections this November will be historic, not only because we are electing the President of the United States, but also because we must meet the challenge as a community to ensure that every Harris County voter can cast their vote safely. I'm thrilled the Toyota Center, home of our beloved Houston Rockets, will be the voting center during early voting period and on Election Day. The Rockets also have partnered with I Am a Voter, a nonpartisan movement aimed to create a cultural shift around voting and the civic engagement. Readers and listeners can text Rockets to 26797. That's Rockets to 26797 to confirm their voter registration status. And this is coming from the Houston Chronicle, and I will post that in the link below. And the NBA took a stand on Wednesday after a couple days after Jacob Blake got shot, or I guess the day after Jacob Blake got shot. I guess the official term is postponed, but it was more of a boycott more than anything, because a boycott.
Is it a boycott or a strike?
Only by either one.
Okay.
I guess technically, if it was a boycott or a strike, or if it was a boycott, the only one side would be boycotting and the other side wouldn't be. So I guess you would call it a strike or a postponement, I guess they would put it. So it kind of kicked off this kind of a big wave with the NBA, and also with Major League Baseball. Some teams at night did it as well, and with the WNBA. So I mean, that's the best way for you guys to do is to contact your Congress representative, your congressman or congresswoman, and and then go from there and vote.
Also, some of the MLS and I believe some tennis folks out there were protesting as well. So it's kind of taken the sports world in terms of making a stand and making their message heard. In regards to our audio podcast, what I try and do is I always put links in for places where you can like either help out or educational resources or whatever. So specifically for Jacob Blake, if you go to GoFundMe.com/F/Justice for Jacob Blake, you can donate directly to the family. And then also, if you go to change.org and look up to charge the cops who shot Jacob Blake, there's a petition there. It's getting closer and closer to its goal. So if you want to sign the petition to help make your voice heard, donate to the family directly, you can do that. And then, like I said, every podcast, I mean, since our podcast blackout issue, I've tried to put like different educational resources, places you can donate, just different avenues and different resources for folks that if they want to know more or do what they can. Because like you said, Jong, some people may not be able to necessarily protest or may not be able to necessarily be out there right in the forefront of it. So maybe you can do it from wherever you're at. But yeah, just different ways that you can maybe help a little bit.
Yeah, and everything that we talked about is going to be in the comment section below. I'm sorry. All the information, the links, and everything. And throughout this entire video, I have the voter where you can find your representative right between me and Michael. So you can go to that. There's a lot of different ways where you could do to help. And this isn't just about Jacob Blake. This is about everything else it's leading up to this. And it's just that it hasn't really changed anything really. Just contact your representatives and definitely go out there and vote, because there's no excuse this time really.
I believe the people who murdered Breonna Taylor are still out there, like just walking around. So yeah, I hope we get some change, because obviously a lot of this stuff hasn't necessarily. It's made some moves, but we still have a long way to go. A long way to go.
Yeah, and the DOJ is actually going to be investigating the shooting of Jacob Blake. So that's actually a big step.
Yeah, that's a huge step. I mean, we need more of that. We need more of those steps, and hopefully, the movement just continues to grow. So hopefully, it can continue.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning into this issue, and we'll be back next week to talk about more comic book stuff and more entertainment. And if you like what you heard, or if you want to provide any other links that we haven't discussed, put it in the comment section below. And subscribe to the podcast if you like what you heard, and slap that bell around a little bit to get notified whenever new episodes drop.
It's all the cool kids. They do that.
Until next week.
See ya.